Hey everyone, hope you all doing great. Today I want to share my mistakes when working with epoxy resin. Trust me, there were a lot. I fell in love with resin 12 years ago, back when there were no courses, no tutorials, or even basic information about it. There weren't even any pigments or dyes. So working with resin today is a really pleasure compared to have it was back then. But before you dive in, take some time to watch this video and not just this one. It saves you a lot of waste of material, money, and nerves. So get comfortable, relax. My name is Natia Rumina, and I'm here to teach you the magic of epoxy resin. My biggest mistake? Ignoring safety. I had no idea that liquid resin releases toxic fumes while curing. And I didn't think about protect myself, my respiratory system at all. But trust me, it affects the artist directly. So always protect your respiratory system, skin and eyes. And I did extensive research on this and share all the details in my private training chat for resin artists. But here's a quick random. For beginners and small project, a thin filter medical mask it's okay. But for medium to large pieces like painting or clock, you must use a respirator with a filter designed for toxic fumes. Pro tip: the moment you start smelling resin through your respirator, it's time to change the filter. I also always have an air purifier remaining in my studio. I link to it in the description. Stay safety and happy creation. My next big mistake: choosing the wrong resin. When I first started, there was not such a thing as artistic resin on the market, only construction and technical resin. And let me tell you, technical resin is a big no for artists. Construction resin, on the other hand, is meant for deep pours like tabletops. It's super runny, takes forever to cure, and you just can't paint on it. So, choosing the right resin for your project. If you want to create clocks, paintings, tableware, or home decor, you need artistic resin. It comes in three types: liquid, medium, and thick. I personally use Resin Pro Resin products, and here's how I remember which is which. Liquid resin, it's called transparent, perfect for making tableware, embedding dried flowers or fruits, and creating a glossy, fluid surf effect. If you want airy, delicate flower design, this is the resin for you. Medium viscosity resin, it's called Art Pro, the best one for beginners. It's super easy to work with and gives you full control. You can use it for jeu d'art technique, foamy sea effect, cosmic designs, seal technique, abstracts, and all sorts of flowers. I have a step-by-step tutorials for all these techniques on my Patreon. Next one, thick resin. It's called Deluxe. My absolutely favorite, but it takes some practice. I explain how to work with it in my private Telegram course for resin artists. With Deluxe, you can create the perfect petri art. Super realistic stone-like veins, ink stone effect, and even stunning ocean and floral design. So, choose wisely and have fun experimenting. Next mistake: not preparing workspace properly. Here's something to always remember: artistic resin loves warmth, no draft, and low humidity. For deep pouring resin, temperature isn't a big issue. Some artists even cool it down on purpose for thick pours. But for art resin, the right environment is crucial. Setting up your space. First, keep resin warm. When you buy resin, bring it home and place component A near a warm spot. If gets too cold, it can thickness or even turn it out a waxy, paraffin-like texture. No worries, just warm it up and it go back to normal. 2. Control humidity. Ideal humidity for liquid resin below 30%, ideal humidity for medium thick resin below 50%. What happens if humidity is too high, you ask me? Your design won't form properly. You won't get that smooth, glossy surf effect. The resin won't flow correctly because of amine blush, a thin film that forms on the surface due to motion. If you apply a top coat over amine blush, it will ruin the glossy and shiny of your final piece. 3. Protect your workspace. Cover everything with a plastic film. Resin peels off them easily. Even if you're working on a small project and think you'll be careful, trust me, you'll drip something somewhere. And once the resin cures, it can ruin your table or floor or your clothes. Use silicone mixing cup. They are super easy to clean and much better for the planet. A little prep work goes a long way in making your resin project stress free. And next one, the most common beginner mistake. This one is the classic. Not mixing resin properly or just eyeballing the ratio. Let's break it down. Resin consists of two components, A, resin, and B, hardener. If you don't measure them correctly, you'll throw off the proportions, and here's what happens. Too much component A, the resin will never fully cure or will stay soft. Too much component B, the resin might overheat and bubble up in the cup or become brittle and break. Not mixing thoroughly. Unmixing bits will end up in your piece, stay sticky, and ruin your work. You'll have to reduce it. And how to mix properly? Use the 2-cup rule. First, combine resin and hardener in 1 cup and mix well. 2. Pour into a second cup and mix again. 3. Always read the mixing ratio and put life. Put life it's the time before resin start thickening. This will help you plan your work and achieve the right consistency. Pigment mixing mistakes. Even experienced artists, including me, after 12 years, can rush and not mix pigments properly. Pigments don't cure on their own, only in resin. If a check of unmixing pigment lands on your artwork, the resin will harden, but the pigment won't. It smell and create a mess until you remove and cover it again. Key takeaway: respect the resin. Don't rush. Take your time, and you'll create a masterpiece. And I hope I didn't scare you. I know this was a long list of mistakes, but trust me, it's better to be prepared than to waste materials, ruin your mood, and feel discouraged from working with resin altogether. Learning from others' mistakes saves time, money, and frustration. I truly believe that if something is your thing, your true passion, then no challenge will feel too hard. When you're inspired and genuinely love what you do, you'll find solution easily and keep moving forward. Next mistake: mold issues. This mistake happens out of inexperience at first and later out of rushing, which even I still do sometimes. Let's say you're making a small resin table, a wine holder, or a julep box using a silicone mold. Here's what can do wrong: poor quality silicone mold. Resin sticks badly and won't release. Overheating the resin. We use a torch to remove bubbles, but if you hold it too long, the resin overheats and sticks to the mold. Filling the mold to the very top, resin can ball to the edges, make it hard to remove without tearing the mold and damage the pieces. And how to avoid this? Since we don't always know how good the silicone is in a mold, here's what helps. First, don't overheat the resin when remove the bubbles. 2. Use a mold release spray. I recommend the wax base release agent from Resin Pro. Just spray it on the mold before pouring the resin. 3. There a matte and glossy version. Choose based on the finish you want. Your mold will last longer and you'll avoid sticky disaster. And one more important rule. Always check your table level. Before start working, always, always check if your table is level and then double check. If your surface isn't perfectly even, your resin will flow to one side and your masterpiece won't cure properly. To prevent this, I use sturdy support when painting, not flimsy plastic cup, but paint cans of other solid base that are all the same height. This keeps everything stable and level. That's it for today. I think that's enough for now, unless this is already too much. But if you want me to continue the list of common mistakes, let me know. I really value your feedback. Your likes, comments, and reactions means a lot to me. If you're working with resin, tell me, what mistakes have you made? I'd love to help you fix them. Wishing you a great and creative day. Bye.